Hello. Today I'm working on my truck rear brake assembly, and I thought to share a couple of thoughts about why most mechanics don't want to give you a cheaper hourly rate, and why they don't want to repair parts and assemblies. They rather replace the whole thing, and why they keep those high hourly rates at the market rate. So the hourly rates are generally kind of a common, common level for most shops into that specific town. So they kind of copy one to another, and after years of experience, the larger shops, they know how much it costs them to run that business, and what's the overhead, like people who are not directly productive, uh, the cost of accountant, cost of the secretary, the copy machine, the coffee machine, the cleaners, replacing some of the tools, and lots of expenses that are not directly involved in your particular repair, but someone has to pay for those expenses, and the money comes from the customers. And if these mechanics or other tradespeople would help every friend, every single person they know, imagine they would have hundreds and hundreds of friends, like fake friends, of course, but they do help some of their friends for free or for very low rate, or maybe charging just for the parts. But why they so those are a couple of reasons why the hourly rates are higher in a bigger city than in smaller towns. And of course, the rent, to rent the shop, to rent a certain type of equipment. Lots of equipment is unaffordable to buy, and lots of mechanics, they rent the whole shop. That includes a hoist, includes sort of pumps and cleaning machines, and uh, very expensive measuring tools, and let's say something to straighten up the frame, something to align the. So some mechanics, they own those tools, but lots of mechanics, they do rent. And in a big city, every single business who charge their customer have to jack up the price. So if one of the suppliers, like a main supplier at the top of the chain, is raising the prices because of, I don't know, fuel costs or the economy, inflation, whatever, it affects their own prices, and then all the buyers, including the mechanics, they have to follow with that trend. Otherwise, they are left behind, losing money. Now, why they don't want to replace small parts of an assembly? Let's say in my case, I have this brake assembly with the caliper, and the piston got seized a couple of days ago, and it was getting very, very hot, and I had a roadside emergency when I had to stop the car, and I tried to take it apart, but one bolt was seized, and I did not have the correct tool to take it out. I didn't want to break it, and I used some water to cool it down, and I used some lubricant, some sort of a spray to help lubricating the disc. So, like, I did something opposite what this assembly is supposed to do. So again, I sprayed lots of lubricant around this caliper and the brake pads to reduce the friction, so this one won't hit that much. So I made it. I drove probably 80 kilometer with the brake pad seized, and I managed to take it half away, like one bolt was seized, and I pushed the piston, I pushed it inside, and I got it working. So I had to push the brake a couple of times, push the piston back. So I kind of broke the seized area, the rust or whatever it was there, and I got it working. It was just heating up just a bit, but I thought to take it apart, and I realized that I have a seal that kind of it's leaky, and a few other parts that I'm thinking to replace, maybe even the piston inside of the caliper, the cylinder, and I found that the whole kit, the whole assembly, it's about 400 Canadian dollars, and I thought, what? I'm not going to pay that much. And I found a kit online on some of the stores you can find online, even on Amazon, and you can buy this rubber part, rubber boot here. You can buy this pin, you can buy this pin, you can buy almost everything, including the caliper itself without the parts. So if you, by accident, if you break it or you make some scratches inside of the cylinder, you can replace that part. And of course I'm going to order these parts, but let's say if I take the kit to the mechanic, the kit could be, for the seals, could be like $5. And if I take this one to the mechanic, guess what? The mechanic won't want to spend the time to replace it, because how much he makes to replace that? Maybe 1 hour labor, and if he charges me $120 per hour, plus some other costs, maybe I'm paying in total $150. So he makes $100, maybe $100, because he has to pay some tax, some other expenses, and paying the employee or whoever does, and the profit could be $50 for the shop. But if if he sells me the whole assembly, let's say he buys the assembly for $400, and he sell it to me for $450. Let's say he makes $20, 20% profit on that, on the sale, because he has to add some money for the shipping and stuff. So maybe he will sell me for 400, I don't know, $450, $470. And if I'm not naive, and if I'm in a rush, if I have to use the car, I'll say, yeah, it's expensive, but do I have a choice? No, I have no choice. If let's say if I were a person who have no mechanical skill, or let's say a young woman, an office person or something, she would say, yeah, it's expensive, but yeah, go ahead. So he sell that part, that assembly, for $400 something, and it takes him probably the same, like 1 hour. And he charges you that hour labor. Usually they have a minimum 1 hour labor. So they charge you 1 hour, they make money there, and they make money selling the assembly. And maybe some checks, some other stuff, maybe different other little things here, and it goes to $700 something, maybe $600. And the customer say, it cost me $600 to repair one brake. And people go with that. Because everyone would charge the same. So if they go somewhere else, they would do the same thing. I had a similar issue when I had the transmission trouble. And actually, I didn't know it was a differential sound, but when I went to the transmission shop, they said the transmission is faulty. Okay, and didn't know nothing, and my wife said, oh yeah, I need a car, I need to drive the car to work, so how much they want? And the shop gave me an estimate $1,400, and I thought, yeah, it's okay, go ahead. And they put the car on the hoist, they took the transmission out, they said they took it apart, and they phoned me, said, yeah, $2,500 repair. I said, but you said 1,400 or something. Said, yeah, but we took it apart, we found this and that and that. I said, you know what, put it back. And he said, yeah, it's going to cost you $450 to for our labor because we took it out and we are going to put it back together. And they knew this trick. It's a trap. They knew that if I want to put this thing back together, I'm trying to drive it, I may need to pay a towing, $150, and if I take the car to another mechanic, they are all charging kind of the same prices, maybe $100-200 difference for this big bill. Like instead of $2,500, they might charge $2,100. But I'm paying the $450 to the first shop plus the towing. That's already $600. So that's $600 loss. And if I go to other mechanic, I'm paying, let's say, 2,001. So my total would be 2,700 if I go to another shop. And these mechanics, they all know that. And they know that. So, and they take advantage of that. And most of the customers, unless they are some stubborn people, will say, you know what, I don't want to let this guy win. Because I know he is cheating, he is trying to fool me, he take advantage of me, but I don't want him to make money off me. And I'd rather take the car somewhere else, or I'll leave it, I'll sell it for parts, or I'll give it to a friend to fix or something. I'll wait till someone can help me with a cheaper repair. So some people do that, but who have only one car, like in my case, I had one car at the time. My wife was putting pressure on me, and I said, okay, it's $2,500, go ahead with the repair. They did the repair, they didn't do it right. They put some cable from us, the transmission cable, they put it across some other part, was rubbing, was not assembled properly. I went back, they did something, then I realized that my front shaft from the differential that goes to the wheels was leaky. So I had the transmission oil coming out, and I went there, and the shop manager kind of raised his voice, and he tried to be cocky and pretending he knows everything. Even before I said, you know what, do you need a service manual for this Toyota Corolla? Because I want you to make sure your mechanic is going to use the correct torque. He said, no, we don't need that. We have all the manuals for all the cars. Okay. Later, I realized that actually they just take a rebuilt transmission and put it back, and they charge me for rebuild kit, rebuild labor, which was $700 on the bill, plus labor, plus all that stuff and parts and shop supplies, and the total plus tax, it totaled to $2,500. And I realized that the car was not properly going in reverse, like it was making a loud clanging noise. And since they offered the warranty, like a nationwide warranty, because they were franchised, I went to another shop in North Vancouver, and the mechanic realized the previous shop actually broke the seals when they put the shaft back in. The gears, the teeth of the shaft, cut some of the parts of the rubber seal, and it was leaky. And so they fixed it. It was warranty, but it was really, really annoying. And I thought, you know what, for this money, I expected to have a properly done job in warranty. So they go warranty, but not properly done job. And the shifting into reverse never worked properly. And I felt sick to go to see that guy's face. But yeah, that's some of the people who do mechanical repair, who like mechanic shops. They are low-level people. Some people are nice, but depends if you know someone. If you know someone, and if you trust the service, yeah, go ahead and yeah, I would check the market price for the same repair. But that's one of the reasons they rather sell you the whole assembly. In my case, if I go to a regular shop, a franchise brake and muffler, let's say, shop, they will sell me the whole thing. I haven't heard people, including friends. I keep talking to friends and people about their experiences with mechanics. That's why I do repair by myself. But I never heard one saying, you know what, this guy charged me half the price and is honest. He will never push a sale. And if I take the part, he will replace it for me. I have one mechanic for work that I cannot do because I need to leave the car higher up on the jack. So this mechanic is a Russian guy. What he does, he said, you know what, this is my account. You go to this store, buy the part, and you pay discounted price. Bring me the part and I'll replace it for you. And that's one of the best. That's why I keep going back when I do have some trouble with my car. I do recommend friends to go to that guy, and he is very busy doing some other type of work with repairing frames and body work, and he does mechanical work. But it's rare to see a mechanic who help you to buy cheaper parts on his account, so you get a discount, 20-30% discount, then you pay just the labor. It's really rare. So if you are lucky like I am, yeah, go for those mechanics. So it's a long video, but I hope you learn a couple of kind of tricks that I learned over the years. And yeah, happy driving. Bye bye.